good afternoon, everybody. Afternoon, evening. The public meeting of the Board of Education's Facilities Improvement and Oversight Committee for December 9th, 2025 is called to order. Did you have a question?
I wondered if your mic was on.
Yep. I think it's just we've got a lively crowd tonight. So good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. And before we get started, I just want to share a preview of what's on our agenda today. We have public comment, we have the grant bowl update, BAC audit recommendations implementation. This is more of just a briefing on work we'll be doing more of next month, but just getting a sense of what needs to happen. Going through the procedural report and the recommendations for Jefferson. And sorry, I messed up. That transition from work life to board life. We're gonna start this month. We're gonna have a BAC audit recommendations implementation. This is related to our audits over the last several years, and we have a list of items we're gonna start checking off of our lists and incorporating into our meetings each month, so we can make sure that we get them all taken care of. So then we have procedural report for Jefferson updates. BAC charter, this is what we're going to be setting the stage for next month, and then future agenda topics and next steps. So do we want to do introductions? I mean,
Can I say something too? So we just went through the agenda, but there's an item that was added late today that I have not had the time. I've had a crazy work life also. And so, last week you requested an extra 5 days, or additional time to read. I'd like to also have the same courtesy to have the time to read the materials. That would be the BAC charter. Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to do that if we all need time to read, then I think we all need to be given the courtesy to read the materials. So I know you've said it was urgent that we review it because of the timing of the BAC meeting next month, but that's self-imposed, that's not a hard
I don't think I must not have been quite clear in my communication, because what's happening is next month on January 28th, the BAC is meeting to update their charter. So I know the audit committee is working on this, and our internal auditor has come to me suggesting that there are some flags that she has for us as we work through the next month of things that we might want to address or make recommendations for that charter review that happens at the end of January. So we have one meeting left in between now and then. So this was just an opportunity for Janice to tell us, because it's more of a briefing of what we should have our eye on. So my hope was that would give us between now and our next meeting to actually think about it and just understand what the ask is for next month.
Right, and again, this was added this afternoon. I haven't literally had time even to read through my email today, so I'm asking for additional time. The bond audit committee has a meeting in January.
At the end of January.
And they have another meeting coming up after that, so I'm asking for the courtesy, just the time to read the materials. I literally do not have time to read, didn't have time to read today. Also just left from work, a little bit early, by the way. And I'm just saying it's not necessarily an urgent thing.
I'm listening. For me as a committee chair, I do feel the need. I have a significant amount of project management experience, and I know that once we start talking about things now, it gives us the runway to not be sitting in a meeting next month saying I don't understand what we're supposed to do in this meeting to hand off for the next meeting. So it's really important to me that we had some advance notice. But I'm going to ask Liz in terms of the ability to share information and make sure it's not a serial meeting. Am I able to take the information from our internal performance auditor, the recommendations? We have a shared document that a lot of these recommendations are in, but we're honing in on some that would be relevant to some new expenses that have been added to our purview as the FIO committee. So I just want to make sure that I'm able to share information with Director Chase Miller and Vice Chair DePass, so that we're prepared for the meeting in January, and that we're making, does that make sense?
Yes, so either directly or through the board office, you can send information out. You just can't have an exchange among a quorum of the board, which would be any two of you,
right,
about that, but sending out that information one way.
Sure.
You can certainly do that.
Okay, so then I'm amenable to that. And I will touch base with our internal auditor tomorrow to share that information with you, and we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Well, it should come through the board office,
Right.
I think. Is that correct?
I think I can send it. I mean, whichever way. I'll check with you, Liz.
Yeah, and
Is there, okay, yeah, I want to
Those are
hone
the
the
other
process.
protocols, which is different than a public meetings question about
Okay.
including the superintendent and Roseanne in those communications, I think is the
Is
standard
your-
practice.
Yes. So I was just asking for, again, for transparency, that we have time to complete the process and then for time for me to read it. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I
Okay.
appreciate it too. Good teamwork, guys.
High five, ladies. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. We have a busy meeting today. Are you guys, if I go ahead and just jump to public comment? Do we want to do introductions? I see a lot of familiar faces. Okay. Perfect. Let's do it. So next, we have public comment. Please make sure when you begin your comments that you clearly state your name and spell your last name. We'll have 2 minutes to speak. We ask that once you hear the sound of the alarm go off, to please wrap up your comments. And then after that, we'll kick it over to John. So let me pull up my list for today. Sorry, guys, I'm like jumping between a bunch of documents here. Okay. So first up, it looks like I need to zoom. God, it's like a hot mess up here today. Terrell Garrett. And then do you want to time or do you want me to time?
I'll time.
Okay.
Terrell canceled just
Oh.
before we started.
Okay, great. Okay. I mean, not great, but next. John Dwyer.
Should I get going? Okay, cool. Hi, my name is John Dwyer, D-W-Y-E-R. I'm here again speaking on behalf of Safe Structures PPS. I also have a fourth grader and first grader at Beverly Cleary School. We appreciate the progress that OSM shared at the November Facilities Committee meeting. It's encouraging to see PPS develop a risk-based framework for prioritizing school repairs. However, we are here today to continue urging full transparency around how decisions are being made and how the final list of schools was determined. For example, Jackson Middle School received a risk score of 9.8 and has an enrollment of over 700 students, yet it was not prioritized for seismic work in the 2025 bond. Current and future Jackson families deserve a clear explanation for this decision. We're also surprised that 2 of the selected schools are lottery only rather than neighborhood schools. With risk scores of 9.1 and 9, their selection came at the expense of other higher risk neighborhood schools. Because these programs draw students from across the district, we'd like to understand whether PPS considered the option of relocating those programs to safer campuses instead of prioritizing seismic work at the current sites. Additionally, of the 9 schools chosen for retrofits, only 1 was a Title I school. Several higher risk Title I schools were not selected in this initial phase. We expect the district to ensure seismic retrofit projects are carried out with full transparency and an equity-focused approach. We ask that OSM provide regular updates on project status and implementation. Transparency and decision-making will help the community understand how schools were selected and build confidence in future phases. We also call on the board to provide strong oversight not only for seismic projects, but for all 2025 bond projects. Last week, the Bond Accountability Committee shared, and I quote, the 2025 bond measure seismic scope said that funds were to fully fund 8 to 10 schools. There is concern that with limited funds and escalating costs, there may not be enough money to achieve that goal. This wasn't just aspirational language. It was a formal resolution adopted by the board and the explicit promise made to voters while seeking passage of the bond. I'll wrap up really quick. The district must honor that commitment it made to the community, or it undermines the public trust that made this bond possible. We also want to acknowledge that $100 million is not nearly enough to address all the schools that need seismic work. We urge PPS to continue pursuing grants and other funding opportunities. And while major investments have been made on the high schools, too many lives are still at risk at other schools. Their safety must be treated with equal urgency as the district looks
John,
ahead.
we've got to wrap up. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say seismic improvements for these
Really,
schools
we
should
got it.
form the core of the
Just
next bond.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And we will have a check-in next month. We'll be doing the every other month check-ins on seismic, so that will be coming up next month. So thanks for your comments. Elijah Prost?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name for the record is Elijah Probst, P-R-O-B as in boy, S-T, and I'm a parent of a now 3-year-old son who lives across the street from Buckman Elementary. I hope to enroll my son there in the fall of 2028. So since you've heard from me before, I'd like to congratulate the board on taking big steps on the remaining high school modernizations, as well as the Center for Black Student Excellence. Thank you also for the work done by this committee and PPS staff to get it to a point, right, where Beverly Cleary and Rose City Park are receiving full seismic upgrades and other schools are receiving improvements. These are all big milestones. Thank you again. So as a prospective Buckman parent and member of Strongtown's PDX, Portland Neighbors Welcome, Bike Loud, and Safe Structures PPS, I love my community, and I know that my views are not just my own, but shared by at least hundreds of folks. So here's my ask. Portland parents who are aware of the seismic safety risks in our elementary and middle schools request a plan from the district to make every school safe in the event of a full rip 9.0 earthquake. When I look at not just Buckman, but nearly all the schools surrounding Buckman, they all have home scores of 9.1, 9.0, 8.9, and 8.2. On a 10-point scale, is this safe and acceptable for our children? It's an honest question that I wondered myself. I would imagine that some of these schools close as part of a consolidation effort, but it's hard to imagine them all closing. If it's truly a good 10 years before the district has bond money again, is there a plan to investigate additional funding sources, perhaps state level, federal level, or philanthropy? That's a question to the board. And I want to make it clear that I do not blame the board for the gross amount of wealth hoarded by the millionaires and billionaires, some local to our region, who could theoretically cut a check to ensure the largest school district in Oregon is safe and modern. Thank you so much for your time and your tireless commitment to our children. I yield my remaining time.
Thank you. Effie Greathouse?
Good afternoon to everyone in this room working so hard on Dr. Armstrong's priority to bring safe buildings to PPS students and staff. I'm Dr. Effie Greathouse with Safe Indoor Air for Oregon Schools. If you are familiar with SafeOS, you might be expecting me to talk today in the middle of flu season about the many kids who are absent today because we still have lots of work to do on clean air in classrooms. But we are actually here today to talk about the fall heat wave and the temporary cooling measures. Bringing in major equipment to 15 schools on short notice was a big step forward. It showed initiative, creativity, and a commitment to action. To help the district learn from this effort, we've completed a report on our survey of teachers in the 15 schools. Teacher feedback indicates that the temporary cooling measures still need significant improvement. I'm going to be straight with you all and share that a lot of teacher feedback, not all, but a lot, was extremely negative. Only 7% said that the hallway fans were effective at cooling their classrooms. Teachers described extreme noise, safety concerns, and student distraction. At the same time, a much higher proportion of teachers who got portable air conditioners in their actual classroom reported that they were helpful and effective. Teachers' top priorities for heat waves this coming spring are air conditioners in the hottest classrooms, upper floor windows being allowed to stay open overnight, and far more thoughtful placement of temporary equipment. I have copies of this report to share with board members and staff that I'm aware of who work on these types of things.
May I ask if you have all the methodology behind sample size, kind of geographic spread, some of that back end information?
You'll see what's in the report, and then if you have further questions, shoot me an email.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I was like, wait, where did she go? Are you done? Okay, all right. No, it's okay. Thank you very much, Effie. We really appreciate all your advocacy on this issue. And Sasha Polak.
Good afternoon. My name is Sasha Pollack, Pollack. I'm a Robert Gray parent. I've worked in the area of climate and clean energy policy for 15 years. I was really impressed when I first read the PPS climate policy. It is thorough and thoughtful and not only addresses facilities issues, but also the challenging topic of engaging young people on climate change. I appreciate the fact that this leadership team continues to show commitment to it, particularly in the design of new schools. We are already feeling the initial impacts of the changing climate. Locally, this is manifesting as more extreme weather, colder cold snaps resulting in more snow days that can lengthen the school year, and especially more hot days, requiring regular cooling during the school year for the first time. It is clear we need to explore new solutions to high temperatures in our buildings, both to increase effectiveness, reduce proximate health impacts of diesel, to which children are more susceptible. Teachers in the SAFO survey whose classrooms were near the diesel generators could smell diesel exhaust in their classrooms, and also to align with PPS's climate goals. Of course, the primary focus of emergency heat response is regulating temperatures to ensure the safety of students and staff, but it is important to also remain true to PPS's commitment to increase energy efficiency, maximize the use of renewable energy sources, and minimize the use of fossil fuels. This is part of Goal 1.1 of the climate policy. We are asking this new creative operations team to explore less fossil fuel intensive options to address extreme heat, including plug-in portable heat pumps as opposed to air conditioners, which are capable of effectively cooling large spaces, are less than $300 each, and would address many concerns expressed in the SAFO survey. If supplemental power is needed, explore using electric batteries instead of diesel generators. Burning diesel causes significant localized health impacts and also emits greenhouse gases, including black carbon, which has a much higher impact on the climate than CO2. Unfortunately, going forward, extreme temperatures are going to be more and more commonplace, and rather than being treated as a one-off crisis where all other policies can be ignored, they should be planned for and thought about well in advance to ensure that responses are aligned with the district's policies and practices, including minimization of the use of fossil fuels. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very well timed. Thank you. Shannon Kittrick.
Today. I had a battle with kidney stones yesterday. Hi, everyone. My name is Shannon Kittrick, Kittrick. I've been a teacher for 25 years, and I am here to represent my students at Roosevelt High School. Did you know, and thank you for talking about it, but Portland Public Schools has the strongest climate change response plan in the nation. I have done the research, and I think the world. We are going to be climate neutral or carbon neutral by 2040, which is a big feat. And as part of the Portland Clean Energy Fund grant, we have basically received $36 million, and $2 million of that goes to student projects. And every middle and high school received $10,000 per year for 5 years. And I believe there's a strong potential for continued support if our partnership with Portland Clean Energy Fund remains solid and the district can demonstrate measurable progress toward its climate impact goals. At present, students are struggling to get infrastructure projects approved through facilities, and that would meaningfully reduce the carbon footprint. Students wanted to build a climate justice greenhouse this year, but we told it wasn't feasible this year due to the workload of facilities. A student commented, "Ms. Kittrick, at this rate, we're going to spend $2 million on posters and murals." My students plan to ask PSEF to continue to support beyond the $36 million grant, but the district must show a genuine commitment to reducing climate projects and investing in green infrastructure. We ask facilities to prioritize student-led projects and ensure everyone supporting this work are properly resourced and compensated. Of the PSEF funds, 10,000 was intended for student-led projects, and 5,000 was to compensate staff facilitating this work. Yet teachers have only received a small portion of that amount, roughly $2,400. A considerable share appears to be redirected toward administrative costs, though it remains unclear what those costs include. Meanwhile, staff such as school secretaries, ordering, and facilities employees are not being compensated. Students have faced significant obstacles trying to move the projects through. And moving forward, my hope is to remove the barriers preventing students from contributing meaningful projects to reduce our carbon footprint. Thank you for listening.
Appreciate it, Shannon.
Thank you.
Okay, that wraps up our public comment, and let's see here. I'm going to turn this over to Dr. John Franco, Senior Chief of Operations, to start off today's presentation.
Great. Thank you, Director Lafort and school board members. So as Director Lafort mentioned, we have 3 agenda items today. We're first going to start out with an update in regards to the Grant Bowl, then talk through some specific bond audit recommendations that were earmarked to provide some updates on, and then we'll talk through the Presidio report on Jefferson. And up to the dais, we have Tom Odgers, who's going to provide us an update on the Grant Bowl.
You're smiling.
Good afternoon, directors. Good afternoon, Dr. Armstrong. Good afternoon, Dr. Franco. Good afternoon, Liz Large. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity. Here's a quick update on the Grant Bowl project. The permit package has been submitted to the City of Portland. The submittal has passed the initial screening and is officially in the city's intake process. No issues have been flagged to date. Utility coordination. Coordination with Pacific Power is underway. There are no known utility obstacles that would delay processing that we know at this time. We are confirming final service requirements and will update the committee as soon as Pacific Power completes its review. Lighting systems, Musco, our lighting vendor, informed us today that equipment lead time is on schedule. Based on preliminary signals, we expect the fabrication and delivery timeline to remain consistent with our target schedule. Musco's scope does not cover all required electrical work. We are obtaining pricing from our internal electrical team for the remaining components. This added scope is expected to be straightforward and low risk in terms of cost and schedule. With permits in intake and vendor timelines being confirmed, the project remains on track. Also, some additional fun facts with our parks coordination. PPS showed some conceptual plans to Portland Parks and Recreation for Powell Park, which is a shared use park space. Parks is reviewing those concepts, and both agencies we will meet in early January to discuss next steps, refinements, and potential improvements or coordination needs. This is part of a broader PPS effort to ensure district athletic programming is aligned with Parks' long-term park and recreational plans. Historically, PPS and Parks have had a mixed and sometimes informal structure for sharing or accessing fields and facilities used by schools and community sports groups. Parks is also moving towards a standardized fee-based, pay-to-play model for all field users, including Portland Public Schools, beginning next year. This won't have any impact on our services. Our current risks are low. We are monitoring them. Final Pacific Power confirmation. Musco lead time adjustments and coordination with the electrical contractor with Musco's installation window. None of these currently threaten the overall project timeline. We will provide the committee with Musco lead time update and any Pacific Power confirmation as soon as they are received. Are there any questions?
Can you just restate what you said about Powell Park? I was really excited to hear something about that. So one more time for those in the back.
Certainly. Portland Public Schools showed a conceptual plan to Parks for Powell Park. Parks is reviewing those concepts. It seems in the positive, and both agencies are going to come together in January to get aligned.
So there's an agreement for a meeting in January? That's
Correct.
Great. That is great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so we're still hitting, so March 1st is still our target for before track season starts?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thanks.
You're welcome. seen.
Okay, thank you, Tom. I'm going to go ahead and call up Sarah Norman and Darren Lee. Sarah's our senior director over OSM, and Darren Lee is one of our directors of construction, who's going to walk us through some progress updates in reference to some bond audit recommendations.
Can I jump in just real quick before? I just want to share. So we have a list of bond audit recommendations from several different bond audits that have cropped up over the last few years. So our internal performance auditor has been preparing, or has prepared, a document that I'm sure we've all seen it, that rolls up all of these. So the idea is to sort of start chipping away at all of these things, like whether it's, 2 a month, 3 a month, depending on what our agendas are like, but just to start kind of taking a swipe at them. And this is our first day of that. So.
Virginia, I wanted to let you know that OSM has been doing that since the initial audit process. We also have a spreadsheet that we've been tracking progress on, and have comments, and who on our audit committee is the lead on that. And so that is work that the staff has ongoing been doing. So I just wanted to let you know that. It's not new work. Yeah.
I think what we have is just the stuff that's still outstanding. So thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Wanted to, I think there were 4 total recommendations that were brought to our attention for FIO. And this is clarify and memorialize contract. I guess do I need to read the slide? I'm just trying to, okay. So we actually, this is complete. We actually have taken a lot of all of the modifications that we've made to CMGC contracts moving forward have been incorporated, and due to the feedback that we've received from the audit. And so we just wanted to kind of let you know that that's where we are.
Yeah, and just addition on some of that. A lot of times in the midterm audit, we'll get recommendations, and anything a priority that we feel is a priority, we aggressively go after, and this was one of them. We tried to get in front of the other Cleveland and Wells, but timing and didn't allow it. So we were able to, because of the switch from Anderson to Hoffman, we were able to get in front of that contract and make these 40 amendments to the contract from the audit recommendations.
That was one of my questions. If we could provide a list of the 40 minutes, maybe that's something
Sure.
you can just share with us.
They actually are part of, you actually have them, because
Yeah.
they were part of the consent contract that we negotiated with Hoffman, and they're Exhibit R in their contract.
Great.
And all of those changes to the contract that were agreed upon and negotiated at that time are there.
I love it. Okay.
Okay, moving to an update on the second.
Yeah, this is ongoing. I just wanted to let you know that we, as you mentioned, that we have quite a few audit accountabilities for the overall bond program. Executive leadership, as of current executive leadership, is very active in the performance audit. In fact, I wanted to list here on the 7-year performance audit that just kicked off. John Franco, myself, Tom Odgers, Peter J. I'm just going to say Peter J.
Yeah, perfect.
And other key members participated in the audit kickoff meeting, and since have completed individual interviews. So believe me, not only that, the performance auditor also interviews people, board members as well, and BAC. So definitely executive leadership is involved in the overall audit process.
Will there be a point person that we can connect with that,
I am the
Okay.
point staff
Excellent.
person for the performance audit.
So I'll reach out to you in terms
Okay.
of how to best, communicate this information so our auditor has the same information, just what that workflow looks like, because it's kind of new.
Okay.
So, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the Bond Accountability Committee quarterly reports. We actually do have those on our website. I included the website in this slide. Listen, I know that our website went through a transformation recently, and there have been some links and different things that have not have not been, and until someone tells us we don't know, it's not there. And so just openly, but we are diligently working to make sure that all of those quarterly reports and everything are reported on a regular basis on the website. So if there is something that you're not seeing or that we can update for you, please let us know and we'll make sure to jump on it.
Thank you. I know we noticed that there were just a few, that required access. And I know this is this website's a huge transition. I think we're all feeling it.
I feel like I knew where stuff was and now I'm not sure where stuff
it's
is.
a secret.
Okay, it's a secret. So seriously, but if there's something you're looking for, please don't hesitate to reach out through Roseanne. I mean, we'll get it to you.
Okay, great.
This one, I'm going to let you take.
Yeah, so this one, it's kind of tied to the other one where the other recommendation where we renegotiated the contract for Hoffman. A lot of these are from our internal auditors that our external auditor interviewed. And it's just things that have come up over especially Benson, where some of our contract language was vague and had some loopholes that the contractor could exploit, and in a way that just made it really, and thus the 40 adjustments and amendments to the other contracts. So we just received a proposal from our internal auditor. Very happy to get in front of this, because usually we do it at a kickoff and then a midterm audit, and then by the end we're dealing with the same thing we dealt with before, right? And so we're getting in front of it this time. We have a proposal under review right now, and he'll be under contract, and he's audited internally every high school we've ever done. So he has that institutional knowledge and ready to go. I could go into very specific details, but basically looking at direct labor and burden costs, there's 20 bullet points out of that. Some contractor costs, materials and equipment, other direct costs, GCs and GRs, how they staff across the board. So he will definitely be involved before we start negotiations, which is usually about 25% construction docs or so. So we'll be in place with that contract.
But I don't want it to be lost that we are going to, one of the reasons that we are in CMGC contracts is because we are bringing the construction team on board ahead of time, so that they are in the design meetings with us, providing constructability reviews and understanding the design intent behind a system that might not be completely designed. And so one of the reasons you go to a GMP is because it is a guaranteed maximum price. So the onus of all of this is on the contractor. And we are going to hold those contractors accountable to PPS for that reason. And so, yes, I understand this comment, but I also think it's a change in how we manage our consultants and our contractors, and really holding them accountable to the contract language that we currently have in place and the definition of what a GMP is.
That's great. It's all good news. And the differences between Jeff and Wells and Cleveland are what we talked about on the first one, that there were some, that's the exhibit R. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so that concludes the updates on the 4 bond audit recommendations. And like Director LaForte said, specifically we'll be reviewing, try to review updates at each FIO meeting. And so I think that's actually a very good practice. And I think to Sarah's point, like, this has been an ongoing piece in terms of the staff consistently reviewing these pieces, and so happy to provide those updates moving forward. Our next agenda topic is in regards to a procedural report, which you all have, and they're here. We have Brian Johnson, who is the president of Presidio. Very happy to have him there. We know Sarah, and then of course we have TJ Watkins here, who is also who's going to be working very specifically with the team She's going to be our program director. And so very happy to have all three of them here. And then they're just going to walk us through what's in the report.
Yeah, this is, I'm going to kick us off, but I'm going to allow my teammates to actually chime in quite a bit. This is the first time that we've had the opportunity to actually discuss this report, so we appreciate the opportunity to discuss it. We want to let you know that this is our contract deliverable that we were requested to do. On page 4 of our report, we actually reiterate the 3 main points of what this deliverable was to be, and so and that is exactly what this report did. So we were tasked with providing a conceptual outline of opportunities that we could see to expedite the Jefferson project, the Jefferson modernization. And so you cannot comprehensively look at that program without looking at some of the ideas that have already been presented. We noted within our report that we understood that these had been vetted. However, there's new leadership, there's new board members, so we wanted to make sure, again, this is a comprehensive to the superintendent and to the district. So we have to show you that those opportunities are still there should they want to investigate them further. So I'm going to go directly into kind of the options. It's been a minute since I've looked at this report, so give me a second. All right. Our option number 1 we called Shell, and what this did was it expedited the timeline of being able to move the students into the new building by getting the first and second floors ready for the students while the interiors were still going on the third and fourth floor. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, and just to clarify, when we mean shell, the third and fourth floors, everything will be built simultaneously. So the structure, everything will be built simultaneously. So the only work that would be remaining on the third and fourth floor would be like tenant finish out, like finishes.
Interior
Right.
things, anything that wouldn't be a detriment to the student learning environment while they're on the first and second floor.
Exactly. And so you have to have your HVAC systems up. You have to have your elevators up. You have to have your life safety systems up. And so that's what we mean by that. And so believe me, we understand that you have to have all of those things in order to have occupancy. But what this did is it was the opportunity to open up some of those big box spaces for the students a year earlier, so that those students that are the students at Jefferson High School could experience that prior to their graduation. And so that's kind of why we didn't want to leave this off the report, because it is an opportunity. Yes, are there logistical things and coordination that need to take place in additional investigation into this option? Absolutely. But we really appreciated this option, and again, being able to get the students, it's all about the kids, getting them in school and letting them have the opportunity to appreciate the modernization that we're doing for them, and that's what this option's about. The second option, which I did not know if this was previously discussed, it was not to my knowledge that it was previously discussed. This was actually building a portable educational village on site for the students. So this would be that the Jefferson students would then swing into the portable village that was actually on site at Jefferson. So it wasn't taking them away from their community and their school. And so what this would do is, obviously the first step would be temporary educational village, and then being able to demolish the existing Jefferson High School building at the same time, or at the same time we would be able to go up with the new building and bring down the old building. And of course, this is all in line with land use and permitting that we would have to get. All of these are, by the way. We took all of that into consideration. We took the schedules that we had from the teams, from the design teams, and we actually put those into our schedule analysis within the report so that we had all of those accounted for with our schedule dates.
Yeah, this option is it's going to take a lot of coordination. Obviously, having kids in a portable village, you got to think about where they're going to eat, restrooms and things like that, and also the safety concern of kids being in portables. So, I mean, it's an option, but it's going to take a lot of coordination in order to make this happen and make sure that the kids are safe and they have a great learning environment while they're in a portable village.
So then 3 is not one that we need to talk about too much because you guys are aware of it. It's swinging the students off site. It's actually providing a additional swing space for the students to go someplace else, and what that would do to the timeline and being able to speed this timeline, because it would allow the existing Jefferson building to be demolished and then of course go up with the new building and have the fields done concurrently. So that, I know that this has been investigated, obviously, but you cannot do a comprehensive report without showing that there are schedule and economic benefits to swinging students.
I just want to add to that there was significant community pushback about swinging students because of the size of our city, because of the distance from the community, and because the community is already vulnerable. And so, moving them 11 miles away, a student body of 400, we just thought we're just going to lose students. So the parents really advocated to keep them on site like we did at Lincoln and like we plan to do at Ida B. Wells.
Yep, and I do want to say that Presidio, in the report, it says Presidio is aware that Portland Public Schools voting community has previously rejected the swing proposed in option 3. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands. I promise we've been plugged in with you guys, with the community. We understood it, but when you're asked to do a comprehensive report, you can't not talk about that option.
Absolutely, and it's really for those in the back.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So then we go through pros and cons of all 3 options. And obviously, I'm not going to read the report to you. That's there. It's a public document. It's on the website, I think, at this point. And then and after the pros and cons, we go through design, permitting, construction schedule comparisons. And this is where I kind of talk through how we took what we had been provided by the team and laid that out through the three options. So we had the current plan, and then we laid out options 1, 2, and 3 that I just went through for the overall and kind of walk through that process.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that, each one of these options, Presidio has experience. We've done all 3 of these options in various other districts. But we wanted to present all of them to you, and it ultimately is up to the community and the board to decide on how to proceed on Jefferson High School. But we wanted to make sure that we put all options on the table so the students could have a place to go as soon as possible.
So for the shell option, you've done this like another high school, like womb to tomb, with the shell option?
Yes, ma'am.
Where was that?
Dallas ISD, we've done that. Fourth ISD as well. We've done those shell options.
And I've done it in Washington D.C. as well.
Okay. What's the process like from this point forward? Like, how do we, what's happening right now to determine which one of these we're moving for? I know we've talked about the shell option, or is that coming to the board? Has Colas Hoffman weighed in? I'm just kind of curious.
So, John, I think this is for you.
Yeah, so I can touch base upon that. And I want to be clear that obviously the swing is definitely not something that we would even broach. To Director DePass's point, I think to Brian Johnson's point as well, in terms of the portable city, from a logistics perspective, that's not feasible. So from a staff perspective, worth exploring for sure, and we wanted to use this as an opportunity to kind of gauge where you're all thinking, is the shell option. That is definitely, in our mind, worth, I think, to Sarah's point, diving in a little deeper and actually figuring out some pieces logistically. Because anytime, again, the whole purpose is accelerating the timeline for Jeff and keeping that as the foundation and seeing that and especially with them having some experience doing this, I think it's definitely worth, and that would be our recommendation, would be the shell for further exploration to kind of figure that piece out.
When will we know which one you want to move forward with?
I think on the staff memo that went with the report to the board, I think staff actually said exactly what John just said. Is that out of all 3 options, the new option that had been presented was the shell option, and we may want to further investigate that option.
The swing option is off the table. So there's
Correct.
2 options. One isn't feasible. That's the portable village. It could be done with enough money and time. And the shell option, in my opinion, I've worked in occupied spaces before, and it can be done with some creativity. It seems like really the only option.
It is.
Especially since you have experience doing this, which I trust 100%. So there's really only the two, the shell or the portables village. Which again, we have to think about electrifying and plumbing portables,
And really, I mean,
sewer connections,
all the things, and
electrical
and
connections.
because again, this was October, and now we're in December, and of course we don't stop. I want the Jefferson community and the students to know we haven't stopped. The team is working to push Jefferson forward, and so we have continued on design documents. We've continued with permitting. We actually have early release fields going. So really, the educational portable village, that window is closing, if not closed, at this point, because we're going to be ready to start those fields June.
Yeah.
I was going to say groundbreaking is May 30th, so
Okay.
Jefferson team's here. So I just want to make sure. So May 30th. So I think kind of that window is closing as well. So
can I just note two things? Thank you. So I had an opportunity to have an informal conversation with the lead for Colas Hoffman, and I said, "Hey, have you read? Do you know about this? What are your feelings? What are your thoughts?" Again, it was an informal conversation. And he said, if we have permits and we have the drawing done before January 2027, we can absolutely speed up to make sure that we get Jefferson open as early as possible. So that's encouraging. I know that he still would need to have conversations with his team and our team, but he didn't balk at it. He was like, if I have the two things in place, permits and drawings, then we can absolutely push. And the other thing I just want to note is that while the window has closed for what we call portable village, we know that we don't have necessarily swing sites up and running when we're ready to do some of those buildings that will need to be replaced for seismic upgrades. And so at some point, we are going to have a conversation about how we stand up a portable village, if you will, to be able to house students while we make critical repairs that can't happen while they're in the building. So I just want to put that out there just for later ideation and conversation.
absolutely. And I've had also informal conversations with Bora Architects and Collis, who is here, and Collis Hoffman, because both of them were kind of, oh my goodness, what are we doing? Like, Sarah, what are we doing? Because I mean, what's going to affect? And so we are eager to sit down with the team, the entire team, and kind of talk through whatever option leadership may want us to investigate. We just kind of waiting for that. So
as long as we have the permits by January 2027, it should be fine.
that's what it sounds. That's informally. That's what it sounds like. I don't have that in writing, Virginia. Okay?
Is early assistance available on those permits or no?
We're actually working with the major projects group, and those meetings have been going really, really well. So they're prepared for us, and we've been working really hard with land use to get our land use application, actually it's in, and reviewed and pushing that forward as well. And so we're well on our way from a permitting perspective. And I have biweekly calls with the lead of the major projects group at the city to try and coordinate when certain things are going to be coming in, because we have 3 major projects, actually 4 major projects that are about to start. And so just building that relationship with the city and letting them know that these things are coming really, really helps out.
So the whole shell would go up. The students would be on the 1st and 2nd floors. We'd have bathrooms, we'd have cafeteria, we'd have all of those things, and then the additional work would continue to happen on the 3rd and 4th floors. Okay, I know that I heard some rumblings that they did something similar at Roosevelt, which was our first school that was modernized. I'm not sure how that happened, but there might be some, just calling out, there might be some institutional knowledge.
And Benson to a degree. I don't know if we have folks maybe not prepared to speak to that, but I know that when Benson opened, we still had the entire Anderson construction on the top floor occupied and still building out too. So
yes.
Will the fields be done at this? So the fields will be done as well?
The fields will be, actually, let me go back to that.
Sorry, it's like you read it, but then when you can talk about it, you can kind of start to envision it.
I don't think the football field will be done because we have to the demolition and sorry, I have to go back and look. I just don't know this off the top of my head, but we have to demo the school, and then that creates the football field. So it would not be done at the same time. That would still be ongoing as well.
That's all I got. It's great. It sounds like we know which direction we're headed.
Okay.
Just thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So appreciate this. Obviously, we have. It's good to get some feedback and direction. So we will move forward with further exploration in regards to the shell option. That's exciting.
It is.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
That was even also exciting. I can't believe it's 5:25, and I think we're done.
I love it.
I know.
That's a great precedent to set.
You just look
I
shocked.
think.
Like what? We're getting there,
We don't
everybody.
have to
Look
take
at
the
this.
whole
Just keep this in mind for TLE on Thursday.
Right. That's right. I'm watching you. No. All right. So, you know what? Hold on. There is one more thing. Committee members, I sent out an email last time, and I'll continue to send it out. Are there any topics you want to add to future agendas today, or do you want to email me?
I'd like to email you, yes.
Okay, great. Okay,
Thank you
perfect.
for asking.
So, our next meeting of the Facilities Improvement and Oversight Committee is January 20th. I'm going to actually use the gavel, say this meeting is adjourned, just because I can. It was fun.